With the release of the new Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4, also known as Sparking Zero trailer, we have new gameplay features and how stuff like destructive environments, transformations, and even how attacks work. So we're going to start backwards from the first trailer before we actually get into the new trailer. In the first trailer, we can see that Goku is actually doing a transformation animation, and that animation actually looks very similar to the one we get in the new trailer. The only part that is different is how the transformation ends. As you can see, the middle section where it's just a close-up on Goku's face, that's the exact same. So I'm assuming just like the older Tenkaichi games, when characters transform, there will be a cutscene that focuses on that character regardless of whether you're playing them or not. So even online, I imagine we'll have this time-freezing effect for the transformations, which does make everything more balanced, lets everyone get their transformation off, as well as lets us look at the spectacle of things going on. And now we'll move on to the new second gameplay trailer for Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. But I will say first, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because that greatly supports the channel, okay? Alright, so obviously this might be a bit of a stretch, but I do believe that there might be unique intros in this game. Now, the older Tenkaichi games actually had unique intros. It wasn't in the form of animation, it was just voice.
Man's kind of cute. Skank.
But this game, I think there might be unique intros. I feel like the way Goku and Vegeta fly into the stage feels kind of scripted in a sense. You could see how the camera kind of hangs over them as they leave the destruction, and then they go into the clash, similar to Dragon Ball FighterZ. So I feel like there will be unique intros, at least for some characters, and it might be stage dependent or not. Maybe this is just the way every intros start in the game, and if that's the case, I don't mind either, because that's really cool. But I would really like the older style intros too, where the characters kind of just talk and do their poses. Now, the next thing we see is a little combo from Goku, and then Vegeta obviously does a counter-attack. This is something that you could also do in the Tenkaichi games. You could knock people far away and try to follow up with a teleport or a dragon chase, or dragon dash, I think it was called. And Vegeta does the counter, similar to the way they even do in the old Tenkaichi games as well, where if you time your attack and your block button at the time of you being attacked, you can do a counter-attack where you teleport behind the enemy and go for a hit. And I just think it's interesting that the gameplay is very similar already, even just that short snippet. We see Vegeta fire a Gallic gun, and Goku dodges that and responds with a Kamehameha that Vegeta deflects. Now, deflects weren't in Tenkaichi. They were actually in Raging Blast. So I'm kind of curious how they'll work here, because in Raging Blast, deflects were cinematics. They froze time and they let an animation play where it shows the character deflecting the attack. But in this game, it looks like they're real time, and the game just slows down to obviously be like, hey, whoa, you know, it lets both parties know what just happened, right? The attack got deflected, and then it picks up again. So I'm actually interested in how that would work, because Goku clearly goes for like a timed guard, which is what lets him dodge this attack here. It's not instant transmission, it's just a timed guard. So maybe it's a different prompt altogether to just deflect the attacks. One thing I do want to point out, because I didn't mention this earlier, when Vegeta deflects the Kamehameha, you can actually see it as destroy part of the stage, and I should have said that. Stage destruction is just a permanent part of the game. Everything you break is going to stay broken. I assume it can break down into smaller pieces until it becomes nothing. And then we see the Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta transformation animations. We haven't seen the Vegeta one before. We saw the Goku one. It just looks a bit different now than it used to in the first trailer. But we haven't seen the Vegeta one. And then they immediately follow up with what I assume to be ultimate attacks. Now, the reason why I think these ones are ultimate attacks is not because they have cinematics, because even in the older Tenkaichi games, super attacks could have dedicated cinematics to them. I think these are ultimate attacks exclusively because Goku having Kamehameha be a cinematic that's this long and has this many effects does seem a bit weird. So I feel like Super Saiyan Blue Goku's ultimate attack is probably something like God Kamehameha, and obviously Vegeta's ultimate attack would be like God Final Flash or something like that. You know, it's their blue forms, so it's not like they're gonna have like any absurd and new ultimate attacks. It's just gonna be Kamehameha and Final Flash. And I'm pretty sure what we see here is a beam struggle. I do like the effect that in beam struggles, we might be able to see the broken dimension that we also see in Dragon Ball Super Broly, when Super Broly and Super Gogeta clash their beams at the same time. I think that'd be a very cool background effect for beam clashes. And also to follow that up, we have Frieza using like Destroy the Planet, like a two-handed death ball. And it doesn't even look like it hits anything, but it still creates like a stage destruction, which I think is very cool, because blowing up the planet whenever you want sounds like it'd be really fun to do, you know? Even the game's pages online do actually state that planet-raising ultimate attacks. So I do believe that ultimate attacks exclusively is what changes the stage. Again, this is the way it worked in the older games, so I'm not surprised. But I just wanted to point out, we might be able to just use ultimate attacks, and if they hit the ground, that might just cause a stage destruction depending on the attack. So that'd be very cool if that's the case. And then next we see Dragon Ball Super Broly, which is quite a surprise to be honest. But I think what Broly marks and why I'm even talking about Broly to begin with is because one, what Broly's doing here is obviously a super attack. It must be one of those cutscene cinematic type super attacks, because obviously it's very focused. And second of all, I think Broly's a good measure or a good mark for what we can expect for the higher end of characters. There is another character who appears in the trailer that is a good end for what we can expect for the lower end of characters. But seeing Broly in the trailer is good because it means that he won't be DLC, and that's a very good sign. I'm very curious what the DLC of this game will be, actually. I imagine it'll be Dragon Ball Daima content, since Dragon Ball Daima is the only new anime. In case you guys forgot, Dragon Ball Daima is coming out. Dragon Ball Daima is the only new like anime content, and again, no Dragon Ball manga stuff will be here, so don't worry about that. We also see Broly transform, and it's in the same style as Goku and Vegeta's. There's a close-up of their face before the character obviously has the camera pan back as they reveal the form, and then there's a dedicated shot to showing the transformation as well. So again, similar to the old Tenkaichi games where the camera focuses on the character, but except this time it's a close-up of their face while they transform rather than just a zoom in of their whole body. We then see Goku do a dashing punch attack. I think this could only be a reference to when he fights Golden Frieza before the Tournament of Power, but I don't believe this is an actual move. I think this is just flair put in for the trailer, because what this really does is reveal us a bunch of characters. And the two ones I want to point out the most, obviously, are Jiren and Bergamo. Jiren is, again, interesting because that's the end of Dragon Ball Super, right? Just like with Broly. So that shows how far the character roster is going to go. There's not going to be any DLC to buy Jiren and Ultra Instinct Goku, even though they're already, like, out at this point, right? In terms of, like, frequency and relevancy. Bergamo is also very important, too, because if Bergamo makes it in the game, that means everyone who is more important than Bergamo makes it in the game. So, again, no DLC for Goku Black, no DLC for Rose, no DLC for Fused Zamasu. They'll all just be in the game. Any other characters who are more relevant than Bergamo and the Tournament of Power are also going to make it in. So that's also, like, basically just all of Universe 6. At least the relevant members, like Hit, Kaba, KO, Caulifla, you know. I think Bergamo and Devious Broly are very important for the trailer because they give an idea of how big the roster is going to be, because Broly is the movie character, and Bergamo is he's one of the most popular irrelevant characters. That's what I should say about Bergamo. So seeing Bergamo in the trailer is actually like, he's like a beacon of hope for if you want your favorite to be in the game, because your favorite's most likely in the game if Bergamo made it into the game. A few other things I wanted to point out that were interesting other than Bergamo. I do like how they show you both Z Trunks and Super Trunks in this. I'm not sure if there'll be two different characters or two different presets for the character. I imagine it's not a costume swap, because the Z Trunks they show is the one that is helping Vegeta fight Cell on the islands, the one with the battle armor, right? And the Super Trunks they show obviously has a sword, so I imagine those are two different characters, but it's not going to be in a Xenoverse way where they have the exact same moveset, but just look different. Like, I don't think it'll be like that, which I think is interesting again. And another thing that I think is interesting, you can actually see some attacks that are familiar. I'm not talking about like Piccolo's Special Cannon or Krillin's Destructive Disc. I'm talking about Android 18's ultimate attack, where in the original Tenkaichi games, she would kick you in the stomach while you're lying on the ground, turn around and then shoot you while you're on the ground. But in this version, you can see that she's going to shoot over her shoulder to an aerial target. So some moves might actually just get redone entirely. So if you had a favorite move, it might change. I'm so sorry. Maybe Cell doesn't say Soya, Soya, Soya anymore in its perfect combination. If he does that, then I might not be able to buy the game, guys. I'm so sorry. Obviously, at the end, we see Goku finish the punch, and then we finally get the reveal that the game will be called Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Sparking with an exclamation mark at the end, by the way. And I think this is cool. Now, obviously, for those of you who don't know, the games were called Sparking in Japan. They were called, like, Sparking Meteor and Sparking, like, other things. They were just called Sparking. It wasn't called Budokai Tenkaichi, it was called Sparking. But it's actually interesting that the game will have PC releases worldwide except Japan, which is rubbing some Japanese fans the wrong way. But again, that's a discussion for another day. I'm just glad that, you know, we get acknowledged by the home country of Dragon Ball. And that will be it. That'll be the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget again, please leave a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe, it greatly supports the channel. And leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next. Love you all, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace.